Chairman. Chair Gary Delvo.
Yes.
Vice Chair Matt Schuler.
Yes.
Alder Randy Smith. I'll hear that. Debbie Dean is excused. Kathy Nichols is here. And Melanie Parma.
Hello.
All right.
Hey, Melanie. Hi.
We have four, that's number one.
And let it be noted that Jeff Marcus is wearing a tie.
Yeah.
Very nice.
What's that mean?
Good for you. Four kids go.
All right, motion to approve the agenda, please. Matt and Kathy, all in favor, I think aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. And the minutes from August, actually two, August 8th and August 17th.
So moved.
Kathy,
Second.
Matt, all those in favor, I think aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Very good. We got minutes moved. Excellent. Record business, number one. Consideration with possible action to approve the collateral assignment of redevelopment agreement from Bay City Lofts LLC to IFF. It gets complicated.
So, yes, you recall, this is the project that started out at Military Avenue and then moved to University Avenue. There will be a tax credits involved and a very complicated closing process. And City Attorney Bunker is here to explain what this is and why we need to do it.
So it's essentially a financing mechanism. The developer is using the development agreement and the tip payments that they're anticipating under the agreement to collateralize a loan that they're seeking from their lender. So I've reviewed the document, didn't have any changes, no concerns with the document itself. For our development agreement, it has to go through RDA approval and then council approval as well. So that if in the event of default, the city would be directing any TIF payments directly to the lender.
Okay.
If the developer were to default on the loan to the lender.
Who is IFF?
That is the lender,
That's the lender.
correct? Yes.
What is IFF?
It's a nonprofit corporation in Illinois, but that's the lender that they're choosing to go with, so.
And do we ever decide that those payments go down if we don't make the money in the TIF? I mean, is this basically guaranteeing it as?
They're only guaranteed to whatever the developer is guaranteed. So we're not assigning or obligating ourselves to paying anything else. So if the developer doesn't meet whatever value thresholds are in the development, then in the event of default, the lender wouldn't get anything more. So it's just assigning
Okay,
whatever the developer is afforded under the DA is assigned to the lender as collateral in exchange for the financing that they're receiving.
Questions, comments?
move to approve.
I would second that.
Motion by Kathy. Second by Matt. Questions or comments in regards to the motion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, see by saying aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed, motion carried. Thank you. Number two. Consideration with possible action to approve a one-year development agreement for the property located at 445 South Barrett Street to Deals Development and Partnership Capital for a single-family owner-occupied home.
I'll take that,
And,
Gary.
I'm done.
Yep,
Please.
so back in June, RDA awarded a planning option to Deals with Development for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single-family home. At the time, the developer had offered to purchase the property at $9,500. Recently, we did get a proposal to extend to a development agreement, so for us to move forward. However, back at the time that we awarded the planning option, their plan did not have a basement. And the request from RDA was to come back with a planning option that has a basement.
Yep.
They've submitted a new proposal for the 3-bedroom, 2-bath, including a basement. However, their ask is that they purchase the lot for $1,000.
Really?
Staff reviewed it. We like everything that they've proposed, that they came back with, including the basement. However, we are still requesting the purchase price to be at $9,500. And based on the plan, you'll see just to the left there, that is the kitchen. We were asking for a little bit bigger window there.
Or maybe more than one.
Yeah, we had said at
One of
least
whole back
the-
house.
the double of it, yeah. So that was our request at that time.
We have,
Go ahead.
this is a market rate sale, so we've sold the lots when it's a fair market sale. We've, sometimes we've donated lots if it's like
Yes.
a profit
Yes.
or whatnot, but that's why we're kind of saying we really should sell this lot.
Okay.
It's part of the deal.
And I'm just trying to, I don't have all this clear in my head. At the end of a 1-year development agreement, was that when they would break ground?
No, they, per the development agreement, they break ground, they can break ground by the end of this month, we do it to the end of this month. And then they have 1 year to complete the development and have an occupancy agreement.
Okay,
And I think they're here.
Yep,
Did I see them?
and
If there's
Ken is
questions for-
here online, if anyone has any questions, we can open the floor.
And the end result is how much tax base or how big of a value? Do you have an idea?
I don't think I have that information with me, I apologize about that. It was roughly,
They would list the property at 253.
Yep. thank you, Sharon.
And it's, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's a small house, but it's, it's right on Baird, it's
Yes.
close to Washington and East.
and it's a corner lot, isn't it?
It is,
So the decision we have to make is whether or not we stick with our 9,500 or we go to it.
and approve a 1-year development agreement, yep.
No.
And there is a garage in that as well. I'll send it.
Well, our precedent says then that if
That
it's,
one or-
this type of deal,
It's not showing.
we sell it as a regular lot.
Yep.
We should stick with that, that's right.
If I may have the chance to make a comment when you guys are ready.
Okay, motion to open the meeting,
Motion to open the floor.
Second,
motion and second, open the floor, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried, thank you. Please, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. First of all, I hope everyone's doing well. I just want to address, us asking for the purchase price of the land to be dropped. At the first meeting, there was a lady in the RDA that made a comment that if you guys could, I believe, ignore the purchase price a little bit to get a basement in there. We had already planned to do a basement anyway at purchase price, but this design just isn't as affordable as we would have liked it to be from the beginning. I was aiming to do closer to $200,000 or less for the end result, but we just plan on using this one for a better prototype moving forward. So whatever price that we can get, a price reduction on the land, we can forward that to the end buyer to make the home more affordable.
Well, but you won't be screening the owners for income though, you're just gonna market, sell it, correct? So however that price comes in at market,
Yeah, so basically I'm just saying that we could make the list price lower if there was a reduction on the land, pretty much.
but that really wouldn't make a whole lot of difference if people are just bidding on it. Like on the market. I think what I'm saying is sometimes the only way to ensure that this is affordable is if you screen the applicants and require that they be at a certain income level, but I think you'd like to just sell this on the market, correct? As much as you can for, really?
I would like to sell it on the market, but the original idea was to be able to list an affordable home, a much more affordable home. So basically, I guess I'm saying that the barrier of entry would start lower than it would be at this current price.
Comments for the developer? Any?
Motion to close the floor.
Okay, if there's no questions or comments, we're gonna go back to regular order of business, so motion to go back to regular order of business, please, Randy? Thank you, and Kathy. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
aye.
Okay, we're back to regular order of business, thank you, thank you for your comments. All right, so we have a decision to be made here. Do we lower the price of the lot, keep it the same, and then we agree with the developer?
Well, we definitely want to keep it within a reasonable price to get somebody in there, but ultimately, they're ultimately going to make money, but we do want to get a nice home in there. So why don't we just split it? Right down the middle,
How much are we asking you? How much are we?
96, 95, we go to, what would it be, 4750.
No, but I mean, you wanted to So even lower than that?
Yeah, you
He
wanted
was
1,000.
requesting, I think,
No, it's
1,000.
1,000, okay. Right. And then, okay,
So I'm just making an alternative proposal to give something.
In reality, a lot like this with all the infrastructure on it would be selling for a heck of a lot more now, 9,500. I mean, it was, or maybe not.
We look at like what the assessed.
Yeah,
value
we
is for
use the assessed value when we're using, coming up with a value, so we are kind of giving a little bit of a break on that. Versus what fair market value would be if it were out on
Right.
the
Okay.
MLS or on a realtor's
Right.
website for marketing.
That was my point. Dave. Thank you. Thoughts? Matt, that's the thoughts?
Yeah, I would, I'm not opposed to Kathy's motion at all. I would prefer to stay at the 9,500 since we're doing a market rate development. You know, if we were, hey, if the lumber dealers are throwing in something and the roofing guys are throwing in something, but you know, it kind of feels like, hey, the city takes the reduction, but nobody else does. And so that's why I'm kind of more in the, hey, if the assessed value is already a good price, I'd like to stay with that. Is where my head is at.
Melanie, thoughts? Melanie?
Can you hear me? Have a little delay in my audio.
We can hear you.
Okay, great. Yeah, I feel like Matt from the perspective that I'm not entirely opposed to Kathy's proposal, but I do feel like we're already again giving a good deal for that property, and staff has, done their due diligence and marketing that property at that price. So I would agree to stay at the 9,500.
How long has that property been on the market?
It's probably been on our sheet for a while. It's a while.
2015, I think it is.
Okay, so
It's a smaller lot, yeah. So I don't know if there's been an interest in that size of a lot. So it's great that you're the developer that's going to build smaller house on a lot. You know, whether we sell it for 1,000 or 9,500, the end value will be whatever the market rate.
Right.
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 So, people bid up or bid down and.
Right.
I think NeighborWorks did a house.
Right.
yeah, and I just heard recently talking to someone, someone was bidding over the price. And someone I knew didn't get the house because someone bid over the price and got it, so if it's fair market.
Right.
I'd go fair market, if we were purposely could guarantee this was gonna be. But if it's fair market, someone could come in and overbid and someone low income isn't gonna get it, so. We could be setting up something that just can't get a guarantee of that. So I think it's best just to
Keep it at 95,
keep it at 95.
so I'll take back that motion. Move that the
That
area.
that motion, Brandon?
Yeah, I'll make that a motion that we just keep it at the rate that we've got there.
And I'll second.
Motion and second. Questions or comments in regard to the motion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, that includes the development agreement, right?
Yes, and to approve the.
Yeah. Right, yep. Right, man.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, thank you. All right, number 3, thank you. Consideration of possible action to approve a 6-month planning option for a property located at 929 North Broadway to NeighborWorks Green Bay for a single-family owner-occupied home.
That's gonna be me again. So 929 North Broadway was transferred to us via city surplus. NeighborWorks had come to us asking if it would be available to create a single family owner occupied home. They have given us this is the site, again, it's a corner lot. It's zoned R1, so it is residential, and the current value of this lot is 12,700. They are looking to do, again, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. The project financing, at this time, their preliminary is that it will be requested through the donor supported adoptive home program. And at this time, they were asking for a 6-month planning option. However, staff has reviewed everything and we're looking at if we could do a 3-month planning option with an updated status from NeighborWorks, but with staff being able to extend, and do an extension if needed for another 3 months.
And Rhonda, just a couple really quick ones on this location. This is north of where Bell comes into Broadway, correct?
Mather, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
technically,
Technically,
That's
Mather.
technically.
Yeah.
That's Mather, yep.
Doesn't.
When it bends, it
It's
turns to
Mather.
Mather.
That's it, really?
Yes, it does.
Where Mather runs into Belt.
It-
It becomes,
That's a lot.
It's just that corner.
Okay.
No?
So yes, it's north of there.
Yep.
It
And
is.
then up in that northeast corner of that picture, there's like an open space of land. Is there railway in there or what is that?
That is railway in there.
It is, okay.
And there's a water, that round thing is water tower, I think.
Yep, it is.
That's that's one of the reasons we actually got this lot a long time ago for
Yeah.
economic development, for the redevelopment of that little corner quadrant there.
Okay,
And then didn't happen on the vacant lot.
okay,
Development didn't happen, So
got it.
So.
it
That's
was city surplus and we actually went and got it declared.
Okay.
So what are those two streets there? The corner,
Augusta and North Broadway,
Augusta.
Augusta.
just north of Phoebe. So
Yep.
yeah, that's
BB
a
and
couple
Augusta.
blocks up from Mather.
I always say Belt, when I'm on West Side.
It did.
Good, thank you. It's only been here 35 years.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, Belt is a highway, so, you know, it just takes over.
They have given a preliminary plan as well. You can go to the plan. This is
Okay.
the preliminary plan that NeighborWorks has provided for us for that lot. David is here from NeighborWorks if there's any questions regarding the planning option and their intentions here.
It's with the most.
It is.
Mhm.
No, this is great. Love love being able to put a home down in that neighborhood and love the idea of a 3-month plus a 3 months extension that staff could work with. So I'm ready to support, certainly.
Is that a motion?
And I can absolutely call that a motion.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Questions or comments regarding the motion? Yeah. If not, all those in favor of the motion and second, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Very good, motion carried, thank you. Number 4, consideration of possible action to award RFP number 2023-37 Community Development Block Grant Neighborhood Stabilization Activities.
That would be me.
That will, please.
Thank you. I apologize for having to speak through a mask. It's Thomas, it's not cold. Just I got a nice welcome
Well,
back to
we got
school.
a little space here, you know.
Okay.
From my kiddos. I didn't want to have a coughing fit over everyone. The city of Green Bay allocated $60,000 in public service dollars of our 2022 annual action plan towards the activity of neighborhood stabilization, which really breaking that down, looked at activities that help prevent or deter crime, but then also activities and programs that increase social cohesion, which is really creating a sense of community and belonging. We had issued this RFP and received 3 complete proposals. One from NeighborWorks Green Bay, one from On Broadway Inc., and then another from House of Hope. The RFP team was assembled by our department and the purchasing departments to review these 3 RFPs and score each one. Well, thank you for pulling that up. And on the screen is how each proposal scored. Just to give you a brief, synopsis of each proposal, NeighborWorks Green Bay submitted a proposal to help deter and prevent crime at their Edmond Court Apartments complex. They would like to install security cameras. On Broadway submitted a proposal to build out the former exclusive company site on Dousman Street. And we're due a diverse small business incubator. And House of Hope submitted a proposal to put together a plan that would help them purchase and rehab more rental properties to increase affordable housing. Though each project on its own, independent, were really great, worthy causes. As you can tell from the way how each one scored, though NeighborWorks scored highest, the review team felt that the proposal didn't quite hit the mark with what the RFP was trying to get at. And in fact, one of the primary concerns that the RFP review team had, and this wouldn't have been known for a purchasing department at all. This really kind of goes into the weeds, a little bit of block grant regulations. But some of what the activities are proposing, such as the NeighborWorks proposal and on Broadway, would be considered maintenance, which is an ineligible activity under the block grant regulations. So, our intention, we were optimistic when we issued this that we would get something that everyone on the review team felt confidence in. The review team felt that we'd be better off not awarding the RFP to then revise the RFP and reissue it. And hopes to get proposals that are closer to the intended and desired use of those neighborhood stabilization dollars.
Okay. So, did I hear you correctly, your intent is to reissue it?
Reissue it, yeah, so staff is actually recommending, this is gonna be different than what's in the staff reports. Like I said, when we initially went into this, we were, optimistic that we'd be able to come up with a clear proposal that everyone felt confident in and good about awarding the money to. We would rather hold off on awarding funds, to revise and update the RFP and reissue it.
So these are more public service. geared
Correct.
Funding compared
Correct.
to.
And as you can see on the, we're also looking at impact in the community as well. And for some of these, the geographic area is somewhat small as well. So we're looking at a number of factors, as you can tell. And I don't want to oversimplify this. But even like assigning a letter grade, for example, looking at, because they're out of 100 points possible. There wasn't a proposal where there was a consensus on the review team were like, yes, this is the one.
Okay.
And there were some reservations
Okay.
with each proposal.
Okay.
Just as it pertains to the activity, I don't want to say that, like I said earlier, the work that these organizations are looking to do and undertake, it's great work.
Right.
It's just
Right.
within the scope of the RFP, we felt that it just didn't quite hit the mark.
When do you think we have this? When do you think it would take? How long do you think it'd take to reissue and get back?
Oh, we could issue it, and honestly, I think we'd like to actually keep it open a little longer, because we did receive more phone calls from other organizations that had questions
Okay.
about wanting to apply. But I just don't think they were able to assemble materials. So I think we could, matter is updated, we could update it within the month. To get something put out again. And then it's just a matter of, maybe we'd like to set it out for at least 2 months. 2 months would be good to get proposals and then come back to the RDA probably in September or
Like the November already.
November, December. Does that sound right, Krista?
Yes.
Christmas.
Christmas? Yeah, time for Christmas.
And when do these dollars have to be allocated?
So actually that's a good question. They really technically, they need to be allocated or spent by this November. However, with the way we're spending down funds from other programs, it looks like we may be able to hold these back, so we're not necessarily going to be up against the wall, their timeliness.
Okay.
And even this, I really want to commend the review team for this, because when they're faced with the difficult decision of, the worst of two evils here, right? It's either, I don't want to say the worst of two evils, but the most right of two wrongs. I don't know. Hard decision of whether or not, do we need to make a decision to get the money out the door? So we just get the money out the door in time, or, do we potentially award a project that if HUD decides to audit us, which they have been, not just our community, but it seems they're really ramping up compliance.
Right.
We could be under scrutiny from HUD and not meet the
Right.
regulations. So
That's
we just want to make sure that we're being good stewards of the funds and the
Yeah.
money, and that we're investing them in projects,
Right.
projects that we feel 100% confident about.
That's the most important. Good.
So in here, I mean, from a motion perspective, or is this something that we just put on hold or that
Refer back.
refer back?
I'll refer back. I would say, Joanne, do you have your thoughts on proper motion for this?
For referral back to staff would be fine.
Motion to refer back.
I would second that.
The motion is a second to refer back, any questions or comments? If not, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried, thank you both.
Thank you.
Let's do the right thing. Number 5, consideration of possible action on the award of a new playground equipment for Brisk Park and Lakeside Place. Krista,
Yep, this one's mine. So I'm working with the Parks Department and they are working with Lee Recreation to purchase some new playground equipment for CDBG eligible parks within the city of Green Bay, and they have come up with both of these parks are on their CIP. And they're asking to use their 2023 CDBG dollars to purchase this playground equipment for Brisk Park. And then this playground equipment for Lakeside Park.
Where's?
Brisk?
Northeast side.
Just northeast.
It's a brisk walk.
And then the other one is where?
Lakeside Place, which is out by the wildlife sanctuary.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, it both sound.
Yep.
Really cool names.
Yep.
You know, I've not heard.
Well, we got a lot of park.
I know. We definitely need, equipment in them, so.
I'll just comment that I've worked with Lee Recreation a lot on projects and they do a wonderful job and these look like great playground layouts. So I think it's very exciting.
calling motion,
Sounds like a motion. I'll make a motion to approve both Brisk and Lakeside Park projects.
And I'll second that.
the motion and a second. Any questions or comments in regards to the motion? Yes, please.
Just we went to a playground recently with the school district and they have some handicap accessible equipment. Is that something we should be giving a directive to parks too at all? To maybe try and do that, or is that parks looking at, does anybody know?
I mean, it's like if there's a school closing and if there's a.
No, he's talking about accessible playground.
Oh, putting accessibility.
Yeah,
I mean, one,
Is
one
parks
that,
on?
one big one that I'm aware of,
Can't.
is with the, with Bay Beach, Friends of Bay Beach. They're planning and have raised a significant amount of money for an accessible playground at Bay Beach. So that would be in close proximity to both of these parks.
okay.
Can you bring the first one down? The first picture, that one, isn't that considered handicap accessible? Is that a base or is that wood chips?
I believe it's going to be
Well-
wood chips,
Oh.
but
It might be handicap accessible, but I don't know if there's many.
Right, specific, yeah, there is specific playground equipment, swings, et cetera, that would be, that could accommodate different users, right?
That's a really good point.
that I don't know.
That might-
I don't,
Yeah, I mean,
I
that would
don't
be,
know if Parks is looking at that.
without being an expert at all, that'd be a significant cost increase for the.
Well, I'm not saying for these.
Yeah.
I'm saying like maybe.
Yeah.
Going forward, is that something? to keep in
And I
mind?
think sometimes it can be just some components within the whole thing, right? So if it's a swing, et cetera, that could be added. So I
Right.
don't know from a cost perspective if there would be something minimal like that.
Communication, thank you, that's Nora. Okay.
Cool, we have a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments in regards to the motion? If not, all in favor of the motion, please by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. That's it, thank you. Informational. I have no questions on the financial report, nobody else did. The records report.
Please, go through some project updates.
Oh, beautiful.
So Merge Yard is proceeding along, and we've been working with them diligently, they're hoping to be able to start next year, which is great. City East Apartments is under construction now, those are the ones that fall in. Bay City Lofts is the one we just approved the collateral assignment for. I think the client is actually going to go off to that one. But yeah, he has to do some things with the needed products, tax credit, needs that transfer, so, but that's still proceeding along, I'm sure he wants to break ground like yesterday. Our project on North Monroe, that is, Ted Mackin's project. That one is, so, that project he needed to redesign and rebid. Because of the underground parking originally, and he needed to bring that parking up. So he has redesigned it, he has rebid it, he's working on those numbers. He's gonna get those numbers finalized this week, and he's prepared to come to the RDA in October to get us an update on that project.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Should be great.
Yeah.
JVS, I know our RFP team is working on getting an RFP for the housing portion of that project. Is there any other updates other than that? We proceed along with the project, which is great. New Land, which is the company that's working with us on the Boston store parking lot. Very, very much moving forward. We're talking to them weekly.
Beautiful project.
Very excited. In fact, the Geo, phase 2 and the Geo work just started on site today, so they're proceeding forward, which is great.
Great.
Let's see, the Ford rail yard is continues, under construction, spring of 2024, occupancy. Continue to work on the moving of coal piles with county, and we met with them a couple weeks ago, I think. An update on that, our war is proceeding along, anticipated that's a huge project. Shipyard phase 1 is also continuing to work along the trail, you can see the murals are all completed. I think Ignite might be this weekend, right?
I thought it was
Not,
just-
I mean, it's on Broadway, the one under the Mason Street Bridge is in October.
That one's in October, okay, so we're gonna try to do something to do some. Let's see, Jazz House on the corner of Walnut and Fair, keep going for this time, proceeds along, I think they might be more occupancy this year.
Well,
Habitat
they're
Homes,
moving.
they're moving,
Yeah.
which is great. Habitat Homestead, they're gonna start work on one of their, I think attached townhomes on the end of that project. They believe the goal is still get street in this year. For that project, that's the 15 total
Yes,
units,
yes,
that project.
big project.
We've got Peter Nugent's property in Cherry. He's also reworking his numbers and reappraising that, and got an email from him last week. He would like to come to the October RDA with those updated as well.
Lots of good stuff going on, I thought.
Yep, Shower and Schumacher proceeds along, and that's about it.
Wow.
We've got updates.
Great updates.
Nice.
Is the rail yard moving? I mean, it seems to, they seem to have slow, people keep asking me, it doesn't look like anything's happening there in a long time.
At the,
The apartments. Yeah, it seems like they got to a level and then,
They're moving. I go by her all the time.
oh, okay, all right.
It's a big project. I mean, it's 203 units, you know, it's a massive, massive project. Yeah, I think it's good.
I haven't heard that there's any stop. or anything, so I
Okay.
think they're doing more work inside now. Or see people working. Yeah.
She's right there.
Yeah, and you're down there all the time.
Everything okay, all right.
Yeah, any updates?
Well, I have one for Discover Green Bay. They have a very exciting day tomorrow, a project that's been decades in the making. So the new visitor center has their ribbon cutting tomorrow morning at 10. So that will be very exciting to see the impact that will have on the entire area. So that's right across from Cabela's. And sure we'll be seeing a lot of coverage in that in the media in the upcoming week.
Fantastic. Brooke? Yeah. Anything on Broadway?
Farmers Market is 3 more weeks, so if you haven't been out there, it's their 20th year, I think there can be a request of you to come out and speak on our last one, so. We got free cake.
I guess if you have to, right?
There's gonna be free cake, but we're gonna cut the cake, so.
You've been having great turnouts out here.
Yeah, I mean.
I've gone there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The weather, it's been a good year for weather, so.
Is Leah on board? Is she on?
I am here.
Yeah, okay, please.
I am. I have actually been off for a couple weeks on a medical leave, but in the meantime, Broadway Auto sold to Bergstrom's. I'm not sure how that impacts us, but that'll be interesting. And otherwise, the farmers market is going well. We're, definitely at peak season for fall produce right now. So that's about it.
Mr. Bear, any updates?
Cheryl pretty much covered it, but I was, as I mentioned to the Retired Men's Club this morning, I did get a little tour of like the Legacy Hotel. which is really coming along. I think they're hoping to cut the ribbon in time for the November 15th Packer game or 19th Packer game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
They're pushing that.
yeah,
Yeah.
they really are. It's kind of amazing if you go out there, because there's still a lot of work to do
Mhm.
on the interior, but a lot of the structural work has been done, so now they're focusing it inside and no weather complications with that kind of work, so yeah, they're optimistic that they're gonna be able to open it up
Excellent.
in November, so that's gonna be a great place.
Wow. That's enough distro. A lot of positive things going on. A lot of things are starting to move. It's a great city. Yeah.
Number one.
In the nation. Be better than that. Either questions or comments for staff? From you?
Gary, can I make a comment?
Yeah, please. I'm
Sure.
sorry.
I just was looking at just for information, looking at some of the specific components in Lee Recreation's proposal for the playground, just so the group knows. It does look like there is some inclusive components to those playgrounds in there. There's like an inclusive spinner and some other components that I see are part of Lee's inclusive line from a playground perspective. So just wanted to make sure everyone was aware of that.
Fantastic. Well, motion to adjourn, I guess.
Motion to adjourn it.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Zero. Everything's for the report that we get. Okay.